Hello, and welcome to Philip Brown's Computer Networking Lab. You're watching the instructional video called DNS, DMZ, and External Providers. Here we are on Client 1. Let's go take a look at the external provider. I'm going to open up my account at GoDaddy.com. This is their website. I'll go ahead and log in. This is where all the magic is done. Let's take a look around. I'll go to where my domain is. Here it is, philipbrown.us. And this shows when the entry will eventually be expired. Here are the name servers. I could replace them with my own name servers. And this is where my DNS web address is forwarded to. When you type in philipbrown.us, it links it to the static IP address. I could make changes in it by clicking on this manage link. And here's a forwarder for some of the subdomains. I could use either HTTP or secure HTTP, and I can add FTP to it. There's a number of choices under my control about how I want people to see my website. Okay, let me go to the domain zones. These entries point to where the subdomains will go to. I can choose different ones. For instance, I can have mail go to one IP address and FTP to another IP address. Now let's create a DMZ DNS that we can put under our control for our public client. First, I need to verify a few things. Let me take a look at the network card and verify that the IP address is in the demilitarized zone. There is 172.16.0.2 with an IP address of 255.255.255.252. I also have the DNS of this server pointing to itself. That looks good. Let me also verify the computer name and also verify that this server is not part of the domain. I see that this computer is part of philipbrown.local and it is part of a work group and is not joined to the domain. Good. Now we can begin to set up the DNS for the public domain. Now let's configure the DNS. we can see that it's labeled the DNS for the demilitarized zone, DMZ DNS. We'll set up the forward lookup zone and the reverse lookup zone. First, I'll start with the forward lookup zone. I'm going to make this a primary zone for the simple reason it's going to be the only DNS server that's authoritative over this zone. And next I'll give the zone the name fiddlebrown.us. Notice that I made it fiddlebrown.us, not fiddlebrown.local, because this is going to be what external people will see. Even though in the previous videos I used non-secure and secure dynamic updates, on the external DMZ DNS, I want to choose only static IP addresses because I do not want a hacker modifying the settings. Now let me work on the reverse lookup zone. This one also will be a primary zone because it's the only one in the zone. And we will be using IPv4. I'll put the IP address range in here. Remember 172.16.0 refers to the demilitarized zone. And I don't want dynamic updates. I only want static IP addresses in this demilitarized zone. Okay, let me manually add some new hosts to this DNS manager. I will also check to create a pointer record, and it will automatically go into the reverse lookup zone. Let's add a few more entries. I will even include some entries of internal machines for the purposes of the ISO server and the DMZ to use. They're not for people externally. And I'll also put in some canonical names, otherwise known as C records. These C records will point to the original A records. External DNS and perimeter DNS are valuable tools in helping external clients access our sites. I hope the video has been informative, and I thank you for viewing.